Welcome back. Today we are making these delicious yet gory eyeball cupcakes. They're made with delicious and moist red velvet cupcakes, so we're going to start by sifting together our dry ingredients, which includes cake flour, cocoa, baking soda, and a little bit of salt. We're then going to cream together a half a stick of unsalted butter. We just want to mix it until it gets kind of smooth, and then we're going to add in our granulated sugar and mix that together until it's incorporated. Then we mix in 2 large eggs. You want to make sure your eggs are at room temperature so that everything incorporates properly. And you want to mix together on a medium speed until all that butter is combined. I like to scrape the sides and the bottom of the bowl just because sometimes butter kind of collects there and you want to get everything mixed together nicely. And then it's time to mix in our other ingredients, which include buttermilk, oil, red gel food coloring, and some vanilla extract. I highly recommend using gel food coloring if you can. It gives the cupcakes a much more vibrant color and it doesn't give them that bitter aftertaste that liquid food coloring sometimes can. Now we're incorporating our dry ingredients in. I like to do this in 2 installments and I'm just mixing on a medium-low speed. I'm not trying to overwork my batter, I'm just trying to get everything mixed together. As always, at this point I like to just scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl to make sure everything is getting mixed together properly. Then we give it one more quick mix with our hand mixer and it's time to scoop this into our prepared muffin pans. You want to fill these about 2/3 of the way high, and then you're going to bake them at 350 degrees for 17 to 20 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out with a few moist crumbs. And while our cupcakes cool off, we're going to work on our buttercream frosting. This is really just a quarter batch of my American buttercream, which is just unsalted butter, vanilla and salt, powdered sugar, and a little bit of heavy cream. We're going to mix until this is nice and smooth. It takes a little bit of time to incorporate all that powdered sugar, but it'll come together in the end, I promise. And once we've reached the consistency that we're after, we're going to scoop this into a piping bag fit with a large round tip. I like to use a Wilton 2A frosting tip, but really any large round piping tip will work for this. Be sure to seal off the top of your bag with a rubber band or some type of seal so that way frosting isn't oozing out as you're piping. And then you want to pipe a nice large mound on top of each cupcake. My tip is to kind of tap it on the counter like this to help that frosting settle in a really pretty even layer on top of the cupcake. Then it's time to start warming up our black fondant. We're going to roll this out into a nice thin layer and we're going to cut out 12 small circles that are going to be the pupils of our eyes. I like to cut these out using just a small punch cutter that I have, but if you have a small bottle cap, that will work great too. Really anything that's circular that you can cut out these shapes with. Then it's time to repeat the process with our white fondant, which we're going to warm up, roll out, and then I like to use a 1-inch circle cutter for these. I think that works great, but really any circular object that you have on hand that's the right size will work. Like a shot glass would probably work for this. I like to smooth out the edges with the tip of my finger here just so that they're nice and smooth, and then I mix together gel food coloring and a little bit of clear alcohol. You also could use clear extract like lemon or almond to make kind of an edible paint. You want to paint a nice thick layer on there, add on the pupils, and then brush it out to the edges to create kind of a streaked look. It makes these irises look a lot more realistic and spooky, and I just think they're so fun. Once they've had a little bit of time to dry, you're going to place them in the center of your cupcakes, and then you're going to whisk together your edible blood. This is really just seedless raspberry jam, red gel food coloring, and a little bit of water, and it creates the perfect kind of like gory mixture for the blood vessels of your eyes. You want to make sure that you put your edible blood in a small piping bag with either a small piping tip like a Wilton 3 or just snipping a really small opening at the end of the bag so you have control as you're adding the veins to the sides of the cupcakes. These truly are the perfect spooky treat for Halloween. If you want to make these at home, the recipe is up on Chelsweets.com and I'll include the link in the video description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy baking.